Hi guys, welcome to another video. My name's Sophie and I run the small business Sophie in Somerset. I'm a traditional artist, turn my art into largely stationery based products here in the southwest of England. I have a small Etsy store and I also sell my products in a physical store as well. And this is a bit of a different video. So if you are if you've been a subscriber and watched some of my other channel videos on my channel, you would know that I have been doing some markets over the last couple of years and I've been trying to find a market that suits my products. And it's been really difficult. I'll be interested to know down in the comments if other creators are finding the same thing, if you're kind of in the stationery illustration type business. I'm a member of Emily Hart's Patreon, and she has said the same. You know, she is a really successful artist and figure on social media in the small business world, and yet at market she really struggles to even make back her table money, which makes me feel a little bit better that it's not just me. And anyway, so if you watched my previous craft fair vlog, I said that me and my husband were considering of starting up our own craft fairs. And this is what this video is. It is documenting the process of us setting up and running our very first craft fair. So it's currently the 13th of March. And I just want to start now because we just got the okay last night from our venue to say, yes, we can go ahead and organise 2 craft fairs this year. So I thought I might as well start now and document the process. I asked in my last craft fair video if that would be something you were interested in. A couple of you said yes. So I'm going to document the process. So this is a process of organising and running a craft fair. I'm not sure what this video is going to contain. I don't know if I'll feature both of the craft fairs. We'll see how long it gets, or whether we'll just do the first one and I'll do a follow-up video with the second event. But the plan is to organise 2 events this year. Initially, I'm thinking of doing a summer one and a Christmas one. It might be a more autumnal one than Christmas. We'll see. We need to work out dates. So this is our first job, is working out dates, and working out dates that doesn't clash with other events in our community. Because the Christmas fair that I attended in my church in November, it was a really great fair for me. I made a decent profit, but it was the day after our Christmas light switch on in the town. A lot of people would come out that evening to support that, so therefore weren't necessarily ready to then come out the next morning to support another event. So I think this is the first thing I'm learning. It's really important to look at what other events are going on in your community, in your town, to make sure you're not clashing with other events and things like that. So I need to work out the dates, and once we have the dates, we've got the venue. So we are going to be doing it in our home church, which has been my most successful 2 craft fairs that I've done. I have found that I'm a Christian artist. Not all of my products are necessarily Bible based. But obviously as a Christian, I influence my faith in all that I do. And I have found that niching down and being in an area where I have my audience, my target audience coming, obviously means I make more sales. So therefore we're going to host it in our home church. They have given us a go ahead for 2 events this year. I'm hoping if it's a success and if we enjoy doing it, maybe we can build on that next year. I really have this vision of making like it more of like an artisan creative makers market, because although there are creative makers markets near me, they are either always outdoors. I have largely paper-based products, so unless it's really good weather, it's a bit of a risk for me to have my products outdoors. I prefer to have an indoor venue. And secondly, they seem to always be on a Sunday. And if you are a Christian and you do your markets on a Sunday, absolutely, that you do you, which is absolutely fine. And there's zero judgment here. I think we all have to do what we feel is right in ourselves. For me personally, I don't want to be doing a market on a Sunday. I feel that's the Lord's Day. That's the day I'm at church. That's the day I'm with my church family. That's the day I practice hospitality and spend time with my family. So I don't want to be markets on a Sunday. And it seems to be all the other artisanal creative makers markets near me, which I think my products would do well at, are on Sundays. And so I can't attend them. And the craft fairs that I have attended is more either fiber arts or just miscellaneous, like little trinkets and things. It doesn't really fit with the illustration, kawaii illustration, or stationery based products. It doesn't seem to be my target audience. I don't seem to be connected with the people that go there. So my dream is to kind of create a market for people who have small businesses like me who can't find a home elsewhere, maybe some other Christian small businesses and artists, but certainly not exclusively Christian. I want it to be accessible for everyone. And also for it to turn into more of a community event, to maybe have some children's activities, some craft activities, somewhere where you can bring the whole family. And also, we're going to be using it as almost also like a fundraiser for our church as well. So all the table money, it won't be going to myself and my husband, even though we're organising it. So we're doing it completely voluntarily. All the table money will be going back to the church, because I just think that's a really good way of doing it. So we're going to be doing it completely free, but obviously I will have a table there. So it's not completely selfless. It's to create a market for myself and other creators while still funding the church as well, which is like win-win really. So yes, the first thing is to organise a date that doesn't clash with any other events. Once we've got the date, we've got the venue, and then we can start contacting. I think we're going to contact people who have done this market before. The previous organizer has been very gracious in giving us the list of the stall holders, so we can contact them. We can work out the maximum number of stalls that we can have, because we're thinking in the summer one, hopefully you'll be able to have them outdoors, but we need to have a plan B. We live in England. There's a huge chance of it not being good weather. So we need to know if it is bad weather, everyone will fit indoors. So we're going to have a maximum number of stalls to make sure that we can put people indoors. Should the worst happen and it rain, obviously the autumn winter one will be indoors because it'll be cold. So yeah, lots of things to consider. I'm just going to take you on a journey. I'm hoping it's going to be interesting for you guys to follow along. And yeah, let's see where the journey takes us. Like I said, it's the 13th of March now. So a long way off, but it takes a lot of preparation. So yeah, hoping this will be an interesting video for you guys. So let's get going and choose some dates. So it's now the 5th of May. Is it the 5th of May? It's the 6th of May. 6th of May. Anyway, long time since I last chatted to you. So you would have seen in the last couple of clips, I was doing up some flyers. I took those down to the shop where I stock my physical products, to advertise down there for some extra stall holders for the craft fairs. So let me catch you up. So last time I chatted to you, I think we were trying to decide on dates. So that was a bit to and fro in of trying to work out dates for the two craft fairs. It didn't coincide with any other local events. So we decided on the 19th of July and the 15th of November. They're both Saturdays, and we're going to do 10 till probably about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, depending on footfall. So once we decide on those dates, we have to then get them approved by the venue. Venue then approved it. So then we went and emailed out to everyone who had previously done events at this venue. So this is they have had previous craft fairs at this venue. As I've said before, I've done previous craft fairs, but they tend to have only ever done Christmas craft fairs. They've never, so there's been summer fetes, church fetes, but not a summer craft fair before. So this is going to be new. So this will be a new event that we're putting on for the summer. And then the Christmas one is something that the community and the church is familiar with. Obviously, we're going to be doing it slightly different as new people running it. But we do have access to a spreadsheet full of people who have previously done it. I can't show you the spreadsheet because it's got people's contact details on there. But so the previous organizer sent that to us. So we emailed out to all those people to see if they were willing to come back, if they wanted a stall. We said we were doing a summer one as well. Ideally, the summer one will be outside, around the outside of the church, and the Christmas one will then be inside. However, we are going to have a backup plan that if it is bad weather, if it's high winds or rain, then we'll have it inside in the summer one. So far, we have got 9 people booked in for both events. We do have a limit. I don't think we can really go past, certainly like 20 is our absolute maximum. I reckon about 15 would maybe be comfortable. It depends on if people want 1 or 2 tables as well. So we've got 9 people so far for each event, but we've got room for more, which is why I did up those flyers to take down to the shop, because the shop where I'm at, there's lots of local makers and artisans who rent shelf space, so they may be looking for opportunity. And as I said to you before, I want to kind of develop this into a more artisan market. So to get some local makers in there will be great. So it'll be interesting to see if we hear anything back from that. I'm going to wait a couple of weeks to see if we get anything in. If we don't get any response for that, I'm going to put it out on social media to see if we can get some different people in. So in addition, there is a local market in our town. So we're a market town anyway, and we have a Friday market. But now once a month, we're also having a Sunday market. And last Sunday market, there was a little local petting farm who had some animals, and we actually let them have the animals in our churchyard. So my husband cleverly got their details, and we've contacted them, and we've spoken to them, and we've spoken to the church, and we have managed for the July event to book a little petting farm to come. So there's going to be a little miniature pony, some sheep, some goats, and then some rabbits and guinea pigs that children can hold and pet. So I think that would be a great draw to get families in. And it's great because the stall holders that have already signed up, they pay for this entirely. So we've covered our costs already regarding the petting farm. So it's not going to cost us anything. So that's great. So that's already sorted. We're going to approach our local pioneer priest who runs the art gallery in our hometown, where I've done my art exhibitions before that you've seen on this channel, and see if she also wants to partner with us. So I don't know what they've got going on. It might be a bit too short notice for the July event, but certainly with the November event, we could maybe have an event going on in the art gallery in the town, because that's in the high street, and then the church is like behind the high street through a little alleyway. If we could partner up and like kind of cross promote, that would be great. And like I said, she's probably already booked up with events for the July, but if we could at least have some like flyers in there to try and direct people back into the church, that'd be great. I don't know if she wants to do some like kids activities maybe. So lots of things going on. That's what I've learned so far in this process. There is lots to juggle and logistics. And of course, once we know how many stalls we've got, we can work out table formation and where people are going to go, and make sure you haven't got the same crafts kind of in the same areas. So on our spreadsheet, I'm looking at it now, like I said, I can't show you because it's got details on it, but we've got people's names, their contact details, and then what items that they're going to be selling. So again, so we haven't got direct competition and we can space people out, how many quantities they want, and a table charge. So it is going to be £15 per table, unless they are a table who are going to be donating all of their proceeds to the church. So if they're donating all of their proceeds to the church, it's a free table. If they want to keep whatever they make, so if it's a small business and things, we charge £15 per table. And as I said before, all of the money for the table charges and people who aren't paying for the tables, all of their money will be going to the church. So we're not making anything. So I am paying for my tables. So I've got 2 tables, so I'll be paying £30 to the church. But then anything else I make or I can get to keep. So yes, that's where we're at the moment. We've got 9 people on both the 19th of July and the 15th of November. We booked a betting farm. So next thing is just to see if we get anyone back from, like I said, the flyers that I've just given out today. If not, I'll put a call on social media. And then it'll be starting to think about what other marketing we can do to kind of to promote the event itself. At the moment, we're still trying to get stall holders in, but once we've got those stall holders, we can start to think about advertising and whereabouts we can advertise. So once we've kind of got a marketing plan together, I can check back in with you and kind of say our thoughts. Like I say, we're on the 6th of May now, only a couple of months away from the event actually, so it's going really, really fast. But I think the main things is that we've got activities for the whole family, or also that we're arranging for refreshments. Spoken to a lady who might be prepared to offer cream teas. So again, I think that's going to be great. We're going to try and have a stall for people to buy cakes, because people always love a cake stall. Anyway, so we're looking for a cake stall, but then cream tea so people can stay and have refreshments. So we're looking for cream teas for the July event. In November, previously the guy who previously ran it used to offer bacon rolls, and that went down really, really well. So my husband is going to be doing the bacon rolls, because it's almost like people that because the last guy who did these events, he's done it for a few years now, and he's done bacon rolls every year. So I think the community is going to be expecting it. So my husband said he'll do that. So cream teas for the July event, bacon rolls for the November event for refreshments. We've got the petting farm for kids activities, and we're going to try and get some kids art activities arranged as well. If our local pioneer priest can't do it, I've got obviously colouring sheets and worksheets on my Etsy store, so I might kind of push together a little art station. Obviously I won't be able to man it because I'll be having my own stall, but we'll figure it out. So I think the main thing to be thinking of is your stalls, your backup plans. We've got a dry venue if the weather's not great. We're going to make sure we don't overrun on stalls, so we make sure it all fits in. And we're thinking of marketing now. So that's where we are. I will keep checking in as and when things happen. It was a bit of a slow start, but like I said, it's just getting the dates in and getting all the logistics sorted. But now we've got the logistics sorted, it is full on organizer mode. So I will check back in with you when there are any more developments. Okay, so I've done my little flyers. I think they've turned out really, really well. Now that I've kind of got in all of the information, so we've got pictures of the petting farm, we've got the cream teas, kids craft table, children's pebble hunt, the model car racing track, which will then be auctioned off at the end of the event as well. We've got a cake stall, handmade gifts and art, and a bookstall. And really like this one that I did up on Canva. We've actually, so I put this this actual picture on Facebook on a page that I follow called Somerset Crafters, I think it's called. It's basically, I joined it because it tells you about local events that's going on and trying to find out about different craft fairs and art markets and things. So I put an advert on there because we had a few more spaces still. And from that advert, we've had 3 inquiries. So we've got 3 other small businesses coming along. So it's going to be a real mix of some church folk, and some of the church people are running like the cream teas and the cake stall and the pebble hunt and the racing track. That's all like members of our church community. So actually it works out really well holding it at our church because we can get our church involved, and the money from those stalls will all go to the church. So it's, it's great for the church as well, but as well as bringing in artisans, like really high quality artists and makers, and giving them extra exposure as well. So I'm really, really excited. We have found now, although we tried to avoid other big events, we have found that there is an event on at the same time, but I think it's going to work to our advantage. So it's called All the World's a Playground, and this is like so it's from a company called Make the Sunshine, and it's theatre, circus, dance, samba, and disco. So it's basically a free festival, like an outdoor circus where kids can get involved. And so it's going to be on the same day, but this event runs 11:30 till 4, whereas ours goes 10 till 2. So we'll have a little bit of time at the start, and then we'll finish, and then this carries on. And it's going to be in the marketplace, whereas which is just up from the church. So I'm hoping, as long as we can get good advertisement in the town centre, like some boards then pointing people to the church, I think it will help kind of bring people out, and then they'll see, oh, there's also a craft fair on at the church, we'll go there at the same time. So I think it will work well for us. So my next plan is to get these out and about, get flyers, do posters of them, and get them around the town, spreading the word, put it on social media, because we are now currently, I've took my calendar down, I think we're like the 24th of June. I should know that because we are the 25th of June because it was my wedding anniversary on Monday. I should know that, which is the 23rd. So we are now on Wednesday, the 25th of June. So under a month to go now. I don't think this vlog has been that exciting so far, but if you're interested in running an event, obviously the talky bits probably have been interesting, but in terms of action, it's all to come, because if you have run events in the past or are going to, it's worth knowing that in the run-up, it's just admin, which is really boring to watch, but it's admin trying to email all the stallholders to get stallholders, to tell them about the event, to work out logistics of table plans and things like that. And so there's not much to really film, but there will be coming up, because the main of it will be the setup of the venue itself, which a lot of it will take place the day before and the morning of. So I'm going to film all of the setup for you to show you how we're going to set up the event. As I said to you before, we're going to plan to have it largely around the outside of the church. We have given vendors the option of being inside if they prefer to be inside, but then we're going to have a plan B option of fitting everything inside the church, aside from the big animals, because they're going to have to stay outside. So we have got a plan B, but that plan's not going to be wasted, because even if we go with plan A, the plan B option will be run out at the winter one in November. So we'll still use the plans. So yes, that's where we are now. So not much to update you on, just to say that we're now going into the promotion side of things. We've managed to get all of our stallholders. We've got a load of family friendly events. And like I said, with that other outdoor circus event happening at the same time, I think it's actually going to work in our favour, because I think it will drive more people out into the town. I think it's way better to do it on the same day than like doing it either the following day or the following week, because people would have spent their money, they would have made sure their time was free to go to the circus, and maybe then would be busy for the craft, or they wouldn't want to go out 2 weekends in a row. So I think it'll work in our favour. So now we're moving into promotion, and then it'll be me trying to get ready for all of my products to be ready. I've obviously now, because I've got my Etsy shop, I'm in a physical store, and also in August I am having my products at a festival. I'm trying to, I'm a bit spread a bit thin on the products. I have to have enough products for this craft fair, but enough products in other places as well. So I need to work that out. So I need to work out what I'm actually taking to this event. I think I'm going to go more down the art route than the stationery route this time. So yeah, I need to work out my own stall, because I've been thinking about everything else and not considered my own stall. So we need to think about that as well. That is a juggling act. If you're trying to take part in an event but also organise it, it's a bit of a fine balance. But yeah, I will continue to take you along, and I will check back in with you when there's another update to give you. So it's exactly 1 week before the event. It is Saturday the 12th of July. Our event is on Saturday the 19th of July, so exactly 1 week today. And I have just packed up, you will see me pack up all of my own products that I'm going to sell. So I'm going to be having 2 tables. I just wanted to get it all packed up and ready. I've done all of my price lists and things like that, so my table's all set to go. We have made the decision. Oh, by the way, if you hear like a whirring in the background, it's because I've got several fans going. I've got the window open. We're in the middle of a heat wave here in England, and because we are in England, our houses are not built. They're built to retain heat, so they're not built for hot weather. AC isn't a thing in houses really over here. So actually melting at the moment. I digress. But so you would have seen I did all of my kind of prices and things like that. So I'm ready to go. So we've made the decision. We were in 2 minds whether or not we set up the craft fair the night before or whether we did it all on the day. Now there is obviously pros to do it the night before. Less of a rush on the day itself. You don't have to get there as early. However, the cons are, although we're able to lock the church building itself, because we're hoping the good weather continues, although maybe not quite as hot, a lot of our stuff is meant to be outside. And although we can lock the gates to the church grounds, it's still out in the open. And crime rate is very low here. We don't really have that much crime. However, with marquees and stuff, it's just a bit risky leaving it out overnight. So we decided that we're not going to do any set up the night before. Also, you have to get a team of people to be available on the Friday night and the Saturday morning, which can be difficult because people work, things like that. So we've decided that we're going to do all the setup on the Saturday itself. So I wanted to at least get my stuff ready, and we are actually going to take my stuff and lock it inside the church on the Friday night, so that on the Saturday we can really just focus on getting the whole market set up, not just my bit. So I think this is the balance you've got to work out if you're organising an event but you're also taking part in the event, is juggling, making sure your own stand and stall looks good and is set up right with the organisation of the whole event. Now I'm very lucky that my lovely husband is very, very organised, so he's taken over the lion's share of setting up the rest of it on the day, so I can focus on my little bit, but I need to be a part of everything else as well. So we're going to be just doing the main setup on the Saturday itself. So the event, it starts at 10 o'clock, so we're going to get there at 8 o'clock, so not crazy early, mainly because obviously we've got to drop my little boy off at my parents' and can't really be doing that at the crack of dawn. So we're going to drop him off on the way at 7:45, get there for 8 o'clock. We've got a team of people that's going to come and help us. We've got a big marquee going up for the refreshments, so that the drinks and the cream teas are covered. Obviously, if it's really hot like this, it's really good to have that shaded area for people to go in and sit in and have a drink. Equally, if the weather is a bit dodgy, it's a bit undercover. Obviously, we've got the plan B that everything will fit inside the church should it rain, but I'm really hoping this good weather continues. We gave stall holders the option to be inside or outside. Some people have chosen to be inside. I know there's a lady who makes greeting cards and she didn't want those to be outside. And normally I would be the person who said, actually, I want to be inside, because a lot of my products are stationery, so paper goods, and even in outside, they can blow away and things like that. However, I've decided I am going to try and be outside, just because we are going to have signs saying more stalls inside. We're going to do our very best to make sure that people go into the church and see the extra stalls. However, it is hard to do that at outdoor events, because if it's really nice weather, people are going to want to stay outside. The animals are going to be outside. We've got a pebble hunting children's activity that's outside. So if the activities are outside and the refreshments are outside, they might pop their head in to have a look, but they're going to spend most of this time outside. So I think people inside might miss out on some of the footfall. So we're going to have to try and balance that. We're going to promote them as much as we can, but we gave people the choice. And I think it's really important to give people the choice of that, which we have done. The other thing we've done this week is we've sent out an email to all of the stallholders with the details of the setup. So we're saying that stallholders can get there from 9 o'clock, so it still gives them an hour to set up. Now, from my personal experience, I think an hour is enough. It is a little bit tight, but I think you can do it if you're organised. But being organised, I tend to, even though it says like you can set up from 9 o'clock, I would aim to get there early anyway. So I anticipate people will get there a bit before 9, which is fine. So we've built that in. So we're going to be there from 8. So if people do rock up early, they can set up earlier, but it just gives us a bit of a wiggle room time. And also in the email, we gave people the option. So it's £15 per table, unless people are solely raising money for the church. So we've got some people from the church having stalls, such as the refreshments, the cream teas, there's a cake stall, there's a bric-a-brac stall, there's a puzzle stall. All those people are members of our church family who have decided they're going to donate all of their proceeds to the church, which is really, really lovely. So their tables are absolutely free. But people who are like myself, who have small businesses and who are keeping their profits, we charge £15 per table, which is a really, really good rate. It's cheaper than whatever I've paid at any other event. So we've sent out bank details to give people the option to pay in advance. Alternatively, people can opt to pay on the day in cash. So some people would prefer to pay from the takings that they take on the day, which is absolutely fine. So we've given people 2 options. I think that's what I've learned, to try and make it easier for everyone and keep everyone as happy as you can. You're never going to please everyone, but to keep people as happy as you can, try and give people options. So that's what we tried to do. So we sent that out this week as well. You would have also seen that I did a lot of promotion this week. So me and Little Man went out into our local community with posters and leaflets. So I've tried to get across a large demographic. So I've tried to advertise in a variety of places so a variety of age groups will see it. So, for instance, we've put up posters in both of our workplaces. So I work in a school, and I put up the poster in the cafe attached to my school. My husband works in the treatment centre hospital across the road, so he's put it up in his staff room. My friend works in a local doctor's surgery. She's put it up in their staff room. You can't put it in medical facilities. You can't put it in the waiting rooms because just the posters are only related to medical things. But at least we could put it up in the staff rooms. I went into the dental practice that I used to work in, and they actually agreed to put it in their waiting room because they've got a bit more flexible on the rules there. I went to our local library. I went to our haberdashery store because obviously lots of crafters go in there. So I've got a poster and leaflets in there. Where else did we go? We went to our local bookshop, our hardware store. Of course, they're up in the church and outside the church. I've got a list here. I'm taking it to my hairdressers this week. We gave out leaflets at my son's toddler group because, of course, of all the family activities we've got going on, it's great for little ones. So all the mums have got those. We have advertised it in the online newsletter for the junior school that's attached to our church. So we've advertised it there. I think that's everywhere. Obviously, I've done it on social media as well, Facebook and Instagram. So we're doing all that we can in terms of publicity. The only thing we haven't done is newspapers, but that costs money. And really, I don't think we get that many more eyes on it than we're already doing. So we made a decision not to do that. But it's out in the community. Like I said to you before, there's an event going on at the same day in the marketplace in town. So we've got these A-frames that we've put posters on. And we're going to have the A-frames in the high street. So if people are coming out purely for the event in the marketplace, they'll see the sign and then hopefully that will direct them into our event as well. Like I said, there's going to be signs to direct people inside the church, whereas not just on the outside. So people inside will also get some foot traffic. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the prep we can do for now. Like I said, we do have the plan B. We've got a plan of how all the stalls are going to fit inside should the weather not be good. But I'm really hoping maybe not as hot, because I think that would also put people off because it's really hot right now. but I'm really hoping the good weather continues for next weekend. But I'm not really worrying too much about the weather. I don't have any control over it. All we can do is pray. But equally, I know there's a lot of farmers in our community equally praying for rain because of the hot weather. So we're praying opposite things. So God will do what God will do. So yeah, so that's all the prep. So next time I speak to you, I will record as much of the setting up and the event itself, but obviously I'm taking part in the event and it's going to be very, very hectic. So I probably won't speak to you again until after the event itself. I will give you a full lowdown of how it went, how the setup went, how the event itself went. And of course, as always, like I do with all my markets, I will go through how much I made and all of my stats as well. So I will check back in with you probably just over a week. I probably won't do it on the Saturday. I'll be brain dead. Maybe on the Sunday, the day after, I'll check back in with you. So next time I speak to you, this will all be over. Of course, we're doing it again at the end of the year. We're also organising the Christmas/winter market in November. I won't include that in this vlog. I'll do a separate vlog for that later on. If you want to see the full run up to the event again, please let me know. But I don't want it to become too repetitive because a lot of these things will be repeated at the end of the year. Obviously, all of that will be inside in November. But I will certainly record the market and let you know my stats at the end of the year. I'm waffling now. I will catch up with you once the event has happened.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be yours. One day I'll be yours. One day I'll be yours. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you.
Okay guys, so it's now the next day. The craft fair went really, really well. I'm going to share all of my stats with you now, how much money we made and all that kind of jazz. But before I start, you will have noticed we were inside. So this was the biggest headache and I think biggest piece of advice I would give someone setting up an event or a craft market, that if you're planning to be outside, it will be your biggest headache and stress leading up to the market. You might hear the fan going on in the background. My window's open, so you might hear some noise outside. It's still really, really hot. But this morning we had a massive downpour of rain. And when we arrived at the craft market to set up yesterday morning, just before 8 o'clock, it was spitting with rain. And we had to make the decision, and that was the biggest pressure, because the decision was all on us, and we knew that we wouldn't please everyone with whatever decision we made. If we decided to power through, because the forecast did say it was going to clear up, but things would have potentially got wet setting up. If we set up outside and it became wet later on, it's a lot harder to move people inside. Although we could have done that, it's a lot of faff to move tables and stock. We had a whole army of people there at the beginning to set up, but then they were going away and would come back later on. So we would have to do it ourselves. I didn't want people's stuff getting ruined. I have a lot of art prints and stationery. I know myself, I didn't want my stuff getting wet, because that would ruin it, and I'd hate to do that to people who are paying to come to our event. So we made the decision to move everything inside, bar the animals and the racetrack. So we spoke to the guy who was doing the racetrack. He was happy to stay outside. It didn't matter if it got a bit wet. And that created a real draw to get people inside. I think it's good to try and keep all the stalls together, because you're not splitting the footfall. So we moved everyone inside. Some people were disappointed, but you're not going to please everyone as much as we try. And I think it was the right decision. We had, again, a little bit of rain about 10. It wasn't major, and the afternoon was a lot better. It was a lot brighter, but it kept everyone together. So what we did was we had the animals on the left as you came through the gates, the racetrack on the right. We had market in the marketplace where the circus performers were going. We had signs. We had like an A-frame up there going, more stalls down in the church. We had it in the high street as well, that there was a craft market going on. On the doors of the church, we had more stalls inside. And just as you came through the door on the right, we had the pebble hunt stand, where people had to go and get their little sheet of paper to then go and find the pebbles, and where they had to go back to at the end to get the sticker to say that they'd done the hunt, or their prize. I think they got some sweets as well. So as you came through the doors, you saw the pebble hunt, and then right at the end of the aisle, we had the craft table for the kids. So as young families being attracted by the cars and the animals, then move forward, see the pebble hunt, and then as they're getting their sheet and getting their prize, they see a craft table. And then once they've gone all the way in the church to go to the craft table, they then see everything else. So then to the right of the craft table, that's where we had all the refreshments. So we had the refreshments in that corner, teas and coffees. We had the cream teas. So we had plain scones with jam and cream. And also we had cheese scones that you could have butter on. And we put the cake stall there as well, cakes that you could buy and take away. So all the refreshments were together. Then on the left of them, we had 3 stalls there, and they were stalls that I'll talk about it in a little bit about how I came into contact with them, but people who hadn't been to the church before. So I really wanted them to have a prominent position, so hopefully they got a lot of the footfall. And then back down to near the beginning of the church, near the entrance, they had myself, and I was due to have another lady next to me, but she failed to attend. That was our only one person who didn't attend on the day, so we had to move somebody else next to me who was doing a competition, like kind of guess the prize, guess how much a cream tea costs, and then you win the cream tea. And then over the other side we had I think we had like 4 stalls over in the other corner. We had 13 stalls in total, meant to have 14 plus the animals. So yeah, I think we spread it out quite well. So my advice to you is, if you're setting up an event, if you're doing it outside, that is going to be your biggest headache, and you're going to have to make decisions, and they're not going to please everyone. You have to be okay with that. But I think trying to keep people together as much as possible increases the footfall. And also that on the day you have to be flexible with your placement. So we had somebody not turn up, so we had to move that around. a couple of people who planned to have one table, then wanted two. So rejig your space, try to be as flexible as possible. And if you've got your own stall, you need somebody to help you with that. So I was a bit late setting up my stall because I was helping with logistics, but then I focused on setting up my own stall, and my lovely husband ran round and did some of the manual labour and directed people where to park their cars and things like that. We sent out emails in the run up to it. So we sent regular emails. We sent the last email the night before, just going over again details of when to arrive, where you can park your car to unload, how long the event goes on for. We did say again, we're planning to be outside, but if weather depending, we might change that on the day, which we did. Again, I don't know whether it's just because me and my husband are administrators, we're used to liaising with people via email and reading emails. But not everyone seems to be the same, because we had some people come back with questions that were clearly already in the email, or just not reading their emails and not getting the information. So just be aware and be patient with people who digest information slightly differently, and who ask questions that you've already answered multiple times. A lot of grace and patience is required. And of course, and I feel this as well as a stall holder, you're nervous, you're stressed on the day, you want to get your table set up, you really want to do your best. And that can sometimes come out in a negative emotions towards other people. So just be patient with people if they seem grumpy and short-tempered. But actually, a lot of people were in really good spirits on the day, and everyone seemed to have a really good day. Everyone made their table money back and more, which is really all you can ask for. I think it did help having that event on in the market. It increased the footfall. So some people who hadn't even seen our posters and flyers did make their way down. Social media was key. So I posted regularly in the run up to it, the little poster that I had done up. And then the morning of, once everyone was set up, I took pictures of everyone's stalls and I put it on social media. And this was quite cool. So I took a picture of everyone's stall, but in particular, there was a lady doing 3D printed things. I actually got one off her. I got this little duck who's dressed in Squid Games uniform, because me and my husband are just finished watching Squid Games on Netflix. I took a picture of her stall, put it on social media, and somebody that I had gone to school with messaged me saying, it was like, I think there was 6 ornaments in the same like kind of category. Those were these characters, which apparently I can't even tell you the name of it because I've already forgotten, but that are really collectible in young girls at the moment. She's got a young daughter, and she was like, "Are they still there?" And I said, "Yep, they're still there." She goes, "Can you ask the lady to put them back? I'm on my way. I'll be there within the hour." And through that social media post, this lady made her first sale of it was 6 ornaments, and then once my friend got there, she bought 2 other ones for her husband. So that is the power of social media. So that was really key. So posting pictures of the events, and then when the animals arrived, we posted pictures of the animals going, the animals are here, to create that anticipation of what people can expect actually when they get there. And I saw comments on there like wives speaking to their husbands going, "Oh, this will be really great to bring the kids to," and like tagging their husbands in it and stuff. So that was really cool. So that's another good tip on the day itself. Keep promoting. It was a long day. We got there just before 8. By the time the event finished at 2, we could have gone on a little bit longer because the event in the market went on till 4, so there was still people milling around, but footfall had dropped off, and we did say we were going to finish at 2. And in my experience in other markets, footfall does get a little bit slower then. So we started packing up at 2. By the time, obviously, as vendors, as the people organising the event, you have to be there until everyone's off site. So we were there till about 3:30. It's very draining. And because it was in the church, and we were there in the church building this morning, so we had to put everything back. So this morning, when everyone came to church, it was like nobody had ever been there. But we managed it, and we had a lot of team of helpers. Don't be afraid to ask for help, especially with the manual labour of stuff, getting tables and things up and stuff. So to the stats. Before I say that, so that corner, that resin lady, she found out of me by I did that little flyer design at the start of this vlog saying calling all artists. I posted that in a group that I'm a member of on Facebook. So it's a group for Somerset artists and makers where people can post if they're hosting events to get stall holders, or if you are a maker looking for craft markets, you can find them on there. Just a little group on Facebook, and I posted on there, and she contacted me through that. This is only her second craft market, and within the first 30 minutes of the market on Saturday, she asked if she could book onto our Christmas one because she was having such a good day. And it was really sweet. At the end of the market, she said this has really boosted her confidence as a new business. She didn't even have any business cards. She didn't have any social media. But she was like, I'm going away to set it all up. You've given me the confidence, and that really made it all worthwhile. So that was really, really cool. And then so she was one of 3 ladies in this corner. Oh, she brought her husband, her 3 kids, her dog. It was lovely. It was a good family event. Another lady there also has her products in the physical shop in Wells, the city of Wells, just down the road from me, where I have my physical products as well. I took those flyers in there asking if anyone in that shop also wanted to have a stall, and she took us up on that offer. So that was really cool. And the third lady is a client of a lady that I go to church with. She makes resin art. She's just started as well. I've bought a few bits for my mother-in-law for her birthday. So I got this really cute resin key ring, N for Nanny. My husband, my little boy can give that to her. And this is a tea light holder with dried flowers in it, which I thought was really, really cool. Again, she's just started out, and it was a real confidence boost for her. So we had 13 stalls in total, plus the animals. So people had the option of having 1 or 2 tables. Tables were £15 each, so I had 2 tables, so I paid £30. Unless they were raising money for the church. If they were raising money for the church, they could have the stall for free, because all the proceeds would be coming to the church. So on tables alone, we made £110. Full transparency, me and my husband are not being paid at all for this. We did this voluntarily. All of that money will be going to the church. But it was a great event, and it's not purely selfless. Obviously, I had my tables there, and I'm going to be keeping, because I paid the £30, I will be keeping all the profits for myself. I'll be going through my own profits in a second. But I just want to share with you, so some of the other stalls, so like the cream teas, refreshments were donation only. We haven't gone through that money yet, so I won't be able to share that. But the cream teas, all of that money went to the church. The cake stall went to the church. The racetrack that was outside, it was great, Paul. Like, my son spent ages watching those cars go round and round, and he was taking, the guy running that stall was taking sealed bids to then auction off the racetrack at the end. So it was great entertainment, a great pool for people wandering by, and all the money raised went to the church. So he had a bid, the winning bid was £45. So that money's gone to the church as well. The lady guessed the cream tea, that money was going to church. The pebble hunt was going to the church. And also, the puzzles, that was also going to church. Oh, and there was a bric-a-brac store as well. Anyway, so far we haven't totted up all of them. I don't think the pebble money has been counted yet, or the refreshments, because obviously this is only the next day. But so far we've raised £395 from those stalls for the church. So in total, with the stall money, £505 raised for the church so far. So that's really, really cool. But obviously, if you're holding an event in another venue, you've got to take into account. So when you're taking money for tables and things, you've got to take into account the cost of what's it's cost you for the venue hire, any insurance you've had to take out, and things like that. We did have one person fall over on the cobbles outside of the church. You are liable if people injure themselves. Luckily, this lady was fine. She got up straight away, and actually she was the wife of the guy running the car track stall. So it wasn't a big deal. But when somebody came and said somebody's fallen over outside, I was like, wow, the thing really hits the fan. Then you are responsible if somebody hurts themselves if you're running the event. So that was like, okay. But luckily she didn't injure herself. So yeah, what did I make? So I made 22 sales. I made a total of £102. Really happy with that. It might not seem a lot to some of you who do bigger events, but for a small market in a small town in Somerset in the southwest of England. I'm pretty happy with that. It was a long day, it was draining, but I made £102, and very excitingly, I got my very first commission. I don't advertise commissions. To be honest, I'm not 100%, interested in doing commissions because I think it's a lot of pressure, a lot of room for error, and trying to meet people's expectations. However, a lovely lady came over. I had two original artworks that I'm just trying to get rid of because they're big canvases. I had them for sale, and she really liked the cherry blossom piece. It's exactly the same color of the bedroom that she's now having painted, her bedroom at home. But it was too big to fit in her room, so she's asked if I could do a smaller piece. So I've said yes. So watch out in a studio vlog coming soon of me doing my very first commission. Very, very exciting. Art prints were the most popular. I sold 9 art prints, and actually one lady went home, framed her art print straight away, put it on her wall, and then sent me a picture. So look out on social media. I'll be posting that soon. That was really lovely to see it on somebody's wall. It's almost like a pinch me moment, seeing my art in somebody's home. So yeah, really, really positive event. And I had a great day, and it was lovely. Like I said, that resin lady saying it's boosted her confidence to do more events. It made it all worthwhile. So I hope it was interesting watching the process. We will be doing it all again in November. That will definitely be inside. The animals won't be there. Obviously, the racetrack won't be there because we auctioned it off. I don't really think it's the weather for Pebbles. So we'll be having to come up with some more ideas to attract families. I will be documenting the process on here. It won't be such a long vlog because obviously all the stuff leading up to it is pretty much going to be the same, but I will document the event itself. And as always, I will be transparent with how much money we made, because I know when I watch these kind of videos, I want a realistic idea of what to expect when I go to these events. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, with that, I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're doing. And I will see you in the next one. God bless. Love you. Bye.